Hey everyone, I'm very excited to present to you this episode that is brought to you by Ocean Soul. Ocean Soul and I talked in the summer, and we were discussing how can we get this wonderful company in front of this audience so that people can get to know what this company is all about. Because here at the How to Protect the Ocean podcast, we love to support great businesses that are not only helping the ocean, but are helping community as well. In today's episode, we have Jonathan, who is a carver for Ocean Soul, who carves animals out of flip-flops that are found, coming from the ocean along a beach. They're cleaned up, they're brought to him, cleaned up some more. They're glued together, and then he makes these wonderful creations with them. And we talked to Jonathan about how that all started for him, what he was doing before Ocean Soul, how he started with Ocean Soul, and how he became this master carver of animals. So we're going to talk about that on this episode of the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. Let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lewin. This is the podcast that you find out what's happening with the ocean, how you can speak up for the ocean, and what you can do to live for a better ocean by taking action. Now, today's episode, we're going to be talking about people who are living for a better ocean by not only taking action, but are leading the action in cleaning up the ocean from flip-flops that come up along the beach. And not only that, but create a business that sells sculptures made out of those flip-flops glued together, but they're carved by local people in Kenya, and they make money. They have a job. That is their job. So this company, when we look at companies who put together these types of, social enterprises where they're protecting the environment and they're also doing, helping people, providing jobs that never would have been jobs, that we thought of before growing up. I never thought somebody would be a carver of flip-flops that was an artist. And Jonathan is said artist. He's become an artist, and he's been able to, master his craft in a very short amount of time, which I still can't get over. But Jonathan talks about, what he was doing before Ocean Soul, how he became a carver at Ocean Soul, what he went through to do that, and then how long it took him to become this master carver and what he loves to carve the most. It's a great story. I think it's just one of those things where, having a company like this on a podcast to show how transparent they are and have their carvers and their employees and staff talk to us, and to be able to say, hey, we love this company so much that we want to, share it and share our process, is just phenomenal. So enjoy this interview with Jonathan, who talks about how he became a carver and a master carver at that, and what his favorite animal is to carve out of glued together flip-flops. Enjoy the interview, and I will talk to you after. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. Are you ready to talk about Ocean Soul and carving flip-flops?
Yeah, I'm ready. My name's Jonathan Lenato. Yeah, I'm a flip-flop artist from Ocean Soul.
Love it. I am so excited to do this interview. This is part of an ongoing series we've been doing with Ocean Soul to get to know the companies behind some of the things that, we see every day, the products that people make, and Ocean Soul makes these wonderful products out of flip-flops. These are artistic sort of products that we see, and it's kind of a way to not only have something cool in your background or on your office desk or something in your house, but also a really good eye opener in terms of how flip-flops keep coming back to our shores and how we dispose of them. And it's really good eye opener. And also the business, I've fallen in love with it. I fall in love with the people who are behind the business and who work in the business. And so here we are with Jonathan, who is a carver, as he just mentioned, and we're going to talk today. How do you carve such great things out of flip-flops? So we're going to talk about that today. But before we do, Jonathan, why don't you just let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do at Ocean Soul?
Yeah, as I introduce myself, I'm Jonathan Lenato. I am flip-flop artist. So basically what we do at Ocean Soul, we recycle flip-flop. So by recycling flip-flop, we use old flip-flop to make art out of it. So we can carve anything like animals, bespoke pieces also. We can do all of them.
That's amazing. What were you doing? But let's go back a bit before you were with Ocean Soul. What were you doing before you came to Ocean Soul? What was your job, or were you a student, or what would you doing before?
Shortly after my education O level, so like that's 2002. So I took like another 4 years just helping my parent in farming or doing other cultural work before I came from my rural home, which is northern part of Kenya. So I moved from rural area to the city, that's Nairobi, looking for job. So that's how I found Ocean Soul.
Awesome. Now, to get a job at Ocean Soul as a carver, that's something that's a skill set that you don't necessarily think everybody has. Um, what did you start off as a carver, or did you start off as something else, or is it like an apprenticeship? How does that work when you get a job at Ocean Soul as a carver?
Yeah, when I came to the city, so I was introduced by a colleague, that's a lady, to Ocean Soul as I was looking like any job, just as saying myself. So first when she introduced me, so I started as a casual, that's watching flip flop. That's where I started.
Gotcha.
So as I was watching my flip flop, I was watching flip flop. Then some few guys. By the time it was a very little group of people. So I was checking them. They are doing the carving using the flip flop, and I as a casual. So I got interested when they are doing their work carving. So as I watching my flip flops, and then I'll just take some time, come and watch them, look how they do, and that's how they give me that chance to practice doing carving.
Now, when you were washing flip flops, how many flip flops did you wash like in a day? Get like just as a estimate. I would love to hear the number.
Yeah, actually we watch about 80 kilos per day.
Holy
That's
cow.
yeah, that's like 4 basins, big basins. Yeah,
That's insane. And the condition that, like, these are flip flops a lot of times that most of the time that wash up onto the shore.
yeah,
They can't be in the best shape. There's algae and there's probably animals that are on them, like little vertebrates and stuff like that. Um, when you wash them, like how hard is it to get them clean? Because I mean, when we see them as a final product, like everything is perfectly clean. So how long does it take to wash like a flip flop, or how hard do you have to scrub?
yeah. As we the washing process, we have like we have obviously we have the gloves because these things are from everywhere. So we
Yeah.
have the gloves, we have also the brush, and also we have the powder, that's the soap, and then also we have disinfectant. So we have to take cautions of when we are watching these things that
Mhm.
we have to take cautions first before you watch a flip flop. You have the gloves, everything. So it is easy sometimes because the brush always have to move all the particles on top, and also we have the powder that loosen all the particles. Yeah, so it's like almost 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Yeah, it depends with the size of the flip flop. Yeah,
So you get pretty fast, right?
yeah, yeah.
Are any of the flip flops, broken down or like ripped at all, like when they come in? Because they can't be in the best condition. Like they're not obviously in a brand new condition because they've been through the ocean. Like, are they what kind of like I guess what do they look like when they come in?
Yeah, they are always broken. You'll never get
Mhm.
a full flip flop. Remember, some have taken some even some years inside the water or wherever they have been like laid down. So they are not in full shape. That's they are just on broken pieces.
That's yeah. I would imagine that would be it. It'd be kind of an interesting
Yeah.
thing to see all those. Now, when you started Ocean Soul as sort of this cleaner of flip flops, when did you start to get interested in the carving aspect, the artistry aspect?
Yeah, that's 2007. Like I have worked for around 17 years now at Ocean Soul.
Wow, that's
So
awesome. That's so cool.
long time.
A long time.
I'm one of the oldest like working on the ocean. So since 2007, that's when I started working with the flip flop.
So, but when did you like when you start? What made you want to become a carver?
What made me like interested is their mission or their what they are working like. They are
Mhm.
working through cleaning environment.
Mhm.
So and also like converting from. people who used to do the carving from
Hmm.
the wood. Then now they are using new material, which is flip flop. So that made me interested to join Ocean Soul and be part of it.
Have Did you ever carve on wood as well?
For I have never done this, so that's my first time. Yeah, and they give
Okay,
me,
so
yeah, they give them me that opportunity. Actually.
that's awesome. Now, what was the first thing you ever made?
First thing was dangling ball because that's symbol like something that doesn't have more details. That's a dangling ball. Yeah.
I love it. Now, how long does it take for, or how long did it take you to get what you think was like good enough to do the detail of, some of the pieces that you guys make?
Yeah, it took me about 2 weeks, like somebody to be because of the tradition, like here in Kenya, of the animals that's
Hmm.
wild animals. So
Hmm.
it takes like 2 weeks because it's something that you used to see. It's like a traditional to do the wild animals because there are many in Kenya. So, but for other pieces, like you have to get the photo, you have to
Yeah.
Google something, so it will take like a month to you to do like perfect work.
So sometimes it could take like average 2 weeks, a month to make, depending on the animal, like to make an animal of detail. And sometimes you just go by memory because you've seen them so many times.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was saying about the memory because we have a lot of wild animals in Kenya.
Right.
It's something
Right.
that we encounter all the time, so it's not that hard. So it depends also with the size of the sculpture or the animal that we are doing.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. I was thinking about that. The size matter in terms of the how long it takes to finish an animal. So I've seen animals, as small as, this phone. Like I'm showing this on the video, but this phone holder that's in the shape of a shark, which is one of my favorite items. Which I feel like is a regular size item. That can go on a desk or things like that. Then you have sort of like, I guess, what a medium size would be, I think, is what you would with this, like the manta ray that I have in front of me, which is probably about maybe 12 inches long, wingspan, maybe. That would be what? Is that like a medium size? Is that considered a
Yeah,
medium size?
that's exactly a medium, like a stingray is a medium. So they differ with time to make them. So smaller take smaller time, mediums, so they vary with time according. And also
Ah.
we have the largest, extra largest until life size.
And how
So
long does like the big giraffes and stuff that I've seen on online? How long does something like that take? Because I feel like the bigger it is, the longer it takes.
yeah, like for a giraffe, like 2 meters, it take like 21 days to make, and you have to be like
Wow.
two people.
Yeah.
Or some you have to do as a group, depending with the size. The big size, you take even 4 people, like 1 month to make them. So if
Yeah.
you can work like a head, it will be like 60 days, some even 90 days.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Like to have, like, thinking about two people or even or more or less, depending on what how big the item is, and to be able to create something like that, work together to create something like that, and have like that same vision of what you want, is incredible. That's just amazing. Um, Now, what does it, when you first get an item before you even, start carving? What does it look like? Is it just sort of like these flip flops that or pieces of flip flops that have been glued together in a block? Like it's like a big rectangle or square or something, and then you start carving from there.
Yeah, it's there's a process to make all the product, like from small, medium. Those are perfectly like the 100% solid flip flops. So we have to get flip flop like one by one. So
Hmm.
like most it take like four flip flop to five. So you'll get flip flop, and then you have to die cut them. We have a die cut like template.
Hmm.
So you get die cut, and then you join first to get a block. That's for the small and mediums. Then from there, you have to join them together and then bolt. And then from there, you have the knife to carve. So that's the next step. You do the carving with the knife. Make sure you did the body. You have the legs. You have the ears. You have the all the
All
details.
the
Like
details.
yeah, and then the that process, you have to go to sandpaper. We have a grinder with the sandpaper. That's where we
Hmm.
do smoothing. That's why you can't see the curve of the knife. So from there, you do the smoothing with the sandpaper. That's a motor running on the sandpaper. Then from there, you get the smoothen part of them, and then you come and then assemble now all the parts like ears,
Hmm.
eyes, uh, tails. Then from there, you do the balancing, and then your product is complete now. Then
Okay.
from there, and then you have also we have also quality control. We have also another like second eye to see if the everything is balanced. Like the eyes are on the right position, all the ears, like two ears, one tail. And then the last process now we wash them again. That's we still with the powder, soap, and then disinfectant again. From there, the product is ready to go for sale or store.
As a carver, you started in 2007. You've been doing it for quite a while. You're an artist, essentially, right? That's I would consider, and you consider you started saying you're an artist. How long did it take for you to feel like I'm really good at this? Like how long in years did it take where you can like look back and be like, okay, like if you asked me to do anything like a manta ray or a shark or an octopus or something like that, you're like, I can do that. I know exactly how long it takes. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm confident that at the end, I won't make any mistakes because I would make tons of mistakes. I'm not an artist. I can't even think about how to do that. How long did it take where you thought, okay, I am a master at my craft?
Yeah, it's like it has to take a while. Like you have to take like 6 months if you are working on one product. But
Right.
if you are in a capacity to do like train on more than one product, so it takes
Mm,
like a 1 year before you say now, okay, I am okay to do now with my art, and I can actually I can do something. So it's
yeah.
6 months to maximum of 1 year.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I feel like it'd take me longer, that a lot longer. Like I don't even know if I'd ever be able to feel like I'm a master. You mentioned something, it's like one product. When you first start, do you just make one item so you get good at that item, or do you start at making different items? So for instance, like different animals, like is that what you consider like one product? It's like a small, so say if you first start off, you'd be like, okay, make the shark full phone holder, and you'll make like 10 of these, and then once you feel that you've been good at it, you can move on to a different animal or a different product. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So first for like one be special with one product is you can get somebody like just special on making giraffes only. So and you can get someone like having is capable of doing more than one product. Like you can do elephant, giraffe, you can do like bespoke, you can do
Hmm.
yeah, you can do like more than one sculpture, and you have those who can just special with one product. That's giraffe, like 1 year, full year just doing giraffes. So that's one product specialist. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
That makes sense. That makes sense because you get really good at that one product. Now,
yeah.
how many different products do you guys make?
We have a variety of many actually. It's more than 100. Like
Wow.
that's we do the wildlife and also marine,
Yeah.
and also we are doing like now like home this like animals like dogs,
Oh,
cats.
really?
Sure, yeah. So yeah, and also other things like cushions, like stools. So yeah, we do a variety, more many.
And how many carvers does Ocean Soul have currently right now?
Yeah,
Like
we
how
are
many
about
people is
so far we are about 60.
60?
So, yeah, 60 people
Wow.
permanently here, and also we have like collectors of flip flop. So those are more than 20 people, and also we have bishop beach cleanup. That's a group of
Right.
ladies in the coast
Yes.
who do the cleaning of the flip flop, and also collecting flip flop like on weekly basis or after 2 weeks they do bishop cleanup.
That's
So
amazing.
like in total we are about 100 like people just working for watching. So
That's all. I mean, that's quite the growth over the years, and in terms of how many people have worked there. Um, so for you, what's your favorite thing to carve?
for me my favorite is giraffe actually.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
the big size giraffes or
big
smaller
size
size
giraffe,
giraffes?
all of them, like just from small media. Although I am capable of doing more than one product, so
Of
but
course.
giraffe, because of the eyelashes, is so amazing for me.
The eyelashes. I never even thought about that. That's got to be a very difficult thing to make. Holy cow. So how many different like species or products do you make?
For me, I do different. Like I can do the like leopards. I can do like giraffes, as I say elephants, and I can
Wow.
do also bespoke. Like
Yeah.
you can bring in a photo, and I can work on that.
Do you find, you know, for you, like to be able to do all these animals is amazing, but for you as an artist, do you find like bringing in a photo and trying to do something new is that's what does it for you? Like that's what the beautiful the beauty and the challenge of making something new and seeing what you can create after that?
Sure, yeah, that's what make me excited actually. If I am in a position to do anything that you can bring, and you will be excited after getting the end product.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for
make
sure. And
it,
I have to ask, because I am not one to have a lot of patience. How much patience does it require to be able to make, one of these animals or one of these products?
yeah, you need some patience because sometimes, because sometimes you make and after just going halfway, you see there's something that's not right. I need to fix
Right.
this one. So, but good thing about flip flop, you can just go back and make it or remand it, and it will be okay. So you need some
Gotcha.
patience. Yeah, sure.
When you do the products that you're normally used to doing, is it just from memory? Like you don't even have to look at a picture or anything like that? Like the giraffes. That's just you like, I already know what I'm gonna do, so I'm just gonna go based on what I know and do it that way.
No, yeah, just have to use from best memory because we are
Yeah.
it's something that you have done the first time. So apart from something new that you maybe client referred you to look after specific photo
Hmm.
or like giraffe, you can do like just from your memory, and that's all.
Now you've been with, as you mentioned, you've been with Ocean Soul for 17 years.
Sure.
Um, did you ever think that you'd be carving animals out of flip flops? Like when you were when you were a kid, like did you think like artist, like being an artist, is what you were going to be doing as an adult?
No, this just it came just like surprise for me, and I'm thankful that I made it, and yeah, it's good for me now. Something good for me now.
I love it. I love it. And final question here, and this is more of from the artistry and the challenge of being an artist in carving. What's the, I guess, the latest thing on your mind that you haven't carved that you would like to carve? Could be animal, could be object. Like what is something that you've been like, oh, I would love to see what I could create, carving through flip flops. What's the item that's kind of on your bucket list to carve, but you haven't had the opportunity yet?
Yeah, I think some like okay. And I think we have done like many things. So for me, like we have done many things, like even up to car. Car although it's
Wow.
have the engine. So that was my something that maybe I was interested like doing something maybe. And maybe like the way you have done the car, maybe one time you can do just fix the engine and then it will run away. So yeah, maybe that one will be a dream maybe. I need to
I
come to
love it.
yeah,
I think that's awesome. I love it.
yeah.
Jonathan, this has been fantastic to have you on the podcast and to learn about, what it's like to become a carver, to become an artist. I started off by saying carver. I apologize. It is an artistry to be able to do these things and so well with so much detail. And just they're always fun items to look at because there's no one item that is, or no two items that are the same, and that's what I love about it. Every makeup of it, the colors, and it's just it's phenomenal. And what you do is just incredible. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you can provide. This is just great. Love to have you back on the podcast to talk more about carving, and maybe we'll do a video one where we can see the car that you did in the
Thank
background.
you for having me. Sure.
You bet. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us on the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. It was great to hear your story of how you became a master carver at Ocean Soul and carve these wonderful animals. Folks, I just think this is something that is amazing. If you haven't had a chance to go and see what these items look like, what these animals look like, I'm holding in my hands, I know you can't see it, but I'm holding in my hands a medium-sized manta ray. And it is one of the most colorful things I have ever seen. And to think that these were trash on the shores of, places in Kenya, and thought, thinking to myself that this would just stay there along the coastlines and go into, maybe go into a landfill or even just go back into the ocean during a storm period, is just amazing to see that they've been glued together, carved so well and so meticulously that I have the chance to have these colorful items in my house. I have quite a number of them I've been very fortunate that Ocean Soul has sent me a few, and they're just amazing. I have this, I think I mentioned it during the episode, I have this shark phone holder. And it's probably one of the most used items in my office consistently that I use. And it's great. It's robust. It doesn't break down. I'm always touching it because it's feeling cool. So if you have a chance, go to the show notes, click on that website and put in the code that I'm going to put in the show notes for you to, partake in buying one of these things. They're great for the holidays. They're great as gifts to give people, and they have a great story to it. I've talked about this before where you can, start providing gifts that are more about the experience and have a meaning. And these are one of those gifts. Having a gift from Ocean Soul, knowing how they're made, knowing where they're from, the products are from, the source is from, unfortunately, it's never ending. So they're always going to have it at this point, and they're taking out trash and they're showing people in art pieces what this trash can do and how you can reuse it and manipulate it to look like an animal and really make you think about ocean trash. So highly recommend you go to Ocean Soul's website in the show notes. I think it's one of those great things that we see companies do, and the fact that they're so transparent in their process and having us talk to their staff, I just think it's just amazing. So head on over. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great. Really happy to hear your story. We're going to have one more episode with Ocean Soul at this point, and I'm not sure who they're going to have us talk to, but I'm looking forward to it in the meantime. But in the meantime, go to the website at oceansoul.com and check it out. I would love to hear your feedback. If you did get something for somebody or you got a little present for yourself, please let me know what you got. If you want to tag me on Instagram, at How to Protect the Ocean, you can DM me the picture, you can tag me the picture. I would be more than happy to see what you got. But that's it for today's episode. I really want to thank you so much for joining us today to hear Jonathan's story. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to Ocean Soul, and I think it means a lot to Jonathan. So thank you again for joining us, and Jonathan, thank you for sharing your story. That's it for today's episode of How to Protect the Ocean podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lewin. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time, and happy conservation.